Hi everyone, welcome back for another tutorial on this channel. I am B and I create beginner friendly tutorials. If you are new here or a returning viewer that hasn't subscribed, kindly please click on the subscribe button to subscribe and turn on all your notifications. I upload new videos every Wednesday, okay? So today we are going to learn how to create this lightweight cardigan. It also doubles as a tie front. You can use it as a layering. It's really beautiful and super easy. I use simple stitches which are just perfect for an absolute beginner. So without wasting any time, let's get into the tutorial. But for now, watch me as I model this for you people. Bye, catch you. To start working on this tutorial, I'm going to be using a lightweight yarn, which is 100% acrylic, but I will double my strands because I didn't get the color of red in a medium weight yarn. The one which I had is a cherry red, so you will need, let's say, a medium weight yarn or your preferred yarn and its recommended hook size, which is usually indicated on the yarn. For my double strands, I'm going to use a 4.5mm hook. You'll need a needle, a scissor, stitch markers, and a tape measure. Now let's begin. We'll start working by creating our back panel and then we'll create the front panel later. You get a tape measure, place it on your back, get the measurement of your back. My back is 20 inches. I usually make between 20 to 22 inches. Today I'm going to make up to around 21 inches long. That is how you will get the measurement for this project. To start, we will start by making a chain. You wrap your yarn on your hook like that and then pull through that loop, tighten it, then make a chain. Make a chain which is multiples of 2 up to your desired inches. I'm going to make a chain of 21 inches, but also consider in mind that some of this yarn stretch, so I will meet you when I am done crocheting those desired number of chains, which is a multiple of 2. I made 84 chains here. Get your tape measure just to confirm that you're working with the right inches. But if you're not so sure of the inches, make a little extra of chains so that when you are crocheting row 1, you will be able to determine the desired measurement. So when I stretch this yarn, it can even go up to 23 inches, but don't overstretch it. So I have 84 number of chains. For row 1, you are going to block this last chain here and chain 2. You skip 1, 2 and then make a double crochet in the 3rd stitch like that. Now you are going to make a cross double crochet. This is how you'll do it. You'll wrap your yarn on your hook, skip 1 chain, go in the next chain and make a double crochet. Then you will again make a double crochet in the chain which you have skipped, and this is how you'll do it. You wrap your yarn on your hook and then go back in this chain which you skipped, make a cross double crochet. Repeat that again. Wrap your yarn on your hook, skip 1 and make a cross double crochet, and then return to make another double crochet in the chain 1 space which you skipped. We shall repeat this up to the end of our chain. You will skip one chain, and then in the next chain make a double crochet, and then go back to make another double crochet in the chain one space which you skipped. Okay, repeat this up to the end of this chain. I'll meet you when we are left with one stitch to end row 1. I'm left with one stitch to end my row 1, so you are going to put a double crochet in this last stitch. This is the end of row 1. Note that you will start your row with a double crochet and end with a double crochet. Okay, so you can just measure to confirm that you're working with the right inches. I already took my measurements, but I just want to confirm for all of you. I have 20, which can stretch to 21 inches or more. That is it. Now for row 2, you are going to chain 1. The chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. You will turn your work and then place a single crochet in that first stitch. Just go in between these stitches and make a single crochet. Make single crochet on top of every stitch that you see here. I started my row with a chain of 84, and I should be able to maintain 84 number of stitches. Okay, I will make single crochets up to the end of this row, and we meet when we shall be starting row 3. I'm at the end of row 2. I still maintain 84 number of stitches. So this is how row 1 and row 2 looks like so far. Going here onwards, you'll just repeating row 1 and row 2. For row 3, you'll repeat row 1. You will start by chaining 1. The chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, and you will turn your work and then place a double crochet in that first stitch. Start your row with a double crochet and end your row with a double crochet, but in between these stitches make a cross stitch double crochet. Okay, so you go in this stitch, you skip this, go in this one and make a double crochet. Then after that, go back to make a double crochet in the stitch which you skipped, like that. Repeat this again, skip this, and then go in this stitch, make a double crochet, and then come back in the stitch which you skipped and make a double crochet over the other stitch. This is what you will repeat. Now in row 4, you will make a row of single crochet. Row 5, you will repeat row 1. You'll just be alternating between row 1 and row 2. We shall crochet this back panel up to your desired length. I will crochet up to my waistline. I'm not making a very long sweater. If you want it longer, keep extending it maybe up to your butt or under your butt. The choice is all yours, but mine will be just at my lower waist. I'm going to come back here when I have obtained the desired inches which I need. I don't know how many inches those are, but I think it's going to be like around 16 to 18. I don't know. We will figure that out when I am back here. This is where I will end with my back panel. I have 54 number of rows here. It can't fit the whole screen, but I'm going to fold like this to let you know how many inches I have. I made from my back up to the waistline, and it's 18 inches so far without the band. And my back panel for this particular sweater is 21 inches, like that. Okay, so if you want yours to be longer than this, just keep extending it up to that desired length, and then cut out your yarn. End your row with a row of single crochets. So I'm going to chain one and then cut out my yarn. Pull this yarn out like that. This is my back panel so far. We are going to be working on the front panel. For the front panel, divide this by 2. I had 84 number of stitches. A half of 84 is 42. I'm going to chain 40 and then make my one side of the back panel. You chain 40 and then block the last 40th chain, chain 2 and make a double crochet in the third stitch. You'll repeat this pattern until when the length is in your underbust. We are making this sweater in form of a V neck. Okay, so when you have already crocheted and it's under your bust, we meet back here and I show you how to create that carving shape for this front panel. Catch you when I am done crocheting mine. I went on to crochet one side of my front panel. This is the length from my lower waistline to under my bust. I have 27 number of rows here. My 27th row is a row of stitch of double crochet. Now row 28 is where we now start reducing, which is going to be a row of single crochet. You chain 1, turn your work. You are not going to place a single crochet in the first stitch. You skip this stitch and then make a single crochet in the next stitch. That means you have already reduced, and then proceed to make single crochets up to the end of this row. We will create a V shape and we will only be increasing the rows where we make single crochets. I am at the end of my row 28. I am down to 39 number of stitches. Row 29, I will still maintain 39 number of stitches. You start your row with a double crochet at the beginning here and then make the double crochets which overlap each other. At the end of this row, this is row 29 for me, I will still maintain 39 number of stitches and meet you right back here when I am done with row 29 and we start row 30. I'm left with 2 stitches, so I'm going to make my last 2 stitches like that. Okay, so for row 30 you are going to chain 1 and then make another reduction. You skip this stitch and then make a single crochet in the second stitch. At the end of row 30 you are going to have 38 number of stitches. Remember, I started with 40, I reduced to 39. Now I will have 38 number of stitches here and meet you when we start row 31. To start row 31, I've already chained 1 and we will repeat the double crochets which overlap each other. Now for these ones you need to follow the sequence. If I start with a double crochet here, and even if I don't end with a double crochet in the next row, follow whatever sequence that is there. So let's first follow this sequence and see if we end again with a stitch like this or just a double crochet. And I know that if it's a double crochet, that means it will be alternating between a cross stitch and a double crochet until you obtained your desired reduction. Okay, I'll meet you when I'm at the end of the last stitch here. I'm left with one stitch. That means I end my row with a double crochet like that. So the next row, which is row 32, is going to be a row of reduction, meaning for me, I reduce in rows which are in even numbers. I don't know how many rows it led to your underbust, but mine was 27 rows, and I started my reduction in row 28, and I will be reducing until I have 32 stitches left. And this is how I obtained it. I got my back panel and then counted from this side to this spot. I have 32 stitches in here, and then I started counting from this spot another 32 stitches. That helped me to determine the width of the space which I need in between here. I don't need a lot of space in between here. I just need something that can wrap on my neck, and I place the tape measure at the back of my neck to get that measurement. You can do the same, or you can create a space that is desirable for you, and mine is 5.5, but you can create 6 or 7, okay, depending on your size. But since I am making a medium to large size, I think you can do a 5 or 5.5 or 6, okay, even size small. Just work with what you are having, or get a tape measure and place it at the back of your neck. Let's reduce until we have those desired number of stitches. Mine are going to be until I have 32 stitches, and then after that I will crochet a row of no increases until I obtained the desired length of my back panel. I have 54 number of rows here, so I should be able to have 54 number of rows. That is after I am done reducing. I will meet you when I'm at that point. I have completed to create one side of my front panel, and this is how it looks like. Okay, we started reduction in row 28 and then reduced until we were left with 38 stitches, which is somewhere here. And then I proceeded to complete my row with rows of no increase. I had 54 number of rows here, and I ensured that I maintained the 54 number of rows for this side. Now we need to place this on our back panel so that we know that we're working with the right sides. This is just one part, and it will help you determine if this is the right or the left, okay? So when you determine which side of your sweater you want, but for this pattern it's really obvious, this is the bad side and then this is the good side. When you see the pattern very clearly, that means when we stitch, we will stitch the good side outside. So I am going to flip this over so that the bad side faces me upward. Let's use it like this since it's not fitting on my entire screen. This is the bad side facing me, and then we check. This is the bad side, and then this is the good side, which means we have worked on the right side of our front panel, okay? This is one side, and the next part is going to be the left side of our front panel, meaning when we reduce, we will not be reducing it like how we were making reductions for this particular side. Since we are working with a V-stitch, you want it to curve, so we will obviously not reduce from here, and we will reduce in the opposite side. This is one side. Now for the second part of our front panel, you are going to crochet up to your underbust, and then I will meet you when we make the reductions for that panel, because it's definitely going to flow differently from the look of what I see here. Catch you until then. You can now even get your scissor and just cut out the tail of this yarn. Chain one. You can pull it long enough and cut out the tail of this yarn. I'll meet you when I have crocheted up to my underbust, and then we start working on our next reduction. I'm in row 27 and we start reducing again on row 28, except for this time we will not reduce from this side but at the end of our row, since we are working on the left side of our front panel. So I'll chain one and make single crochets until I'm left with 2 stitches and meet you when I am at that point. I'm left with 2 stitches to end this row. I started with 40 number of stitches, and when we reduce this row we shall be left with 39 number of stitches. You can either just end your row with a single crochet and then start the next row, or you will place your hook inside this stitch, go in the next stitch, pull out your yarn. You'll have 3 loops on your hook and then pull through all. Okay, then chain 1. That's how you are going to be reducing for each of these rows. Turn your work and then place a cross stitch, because now you already reduced the spot where there was a double crochet. You need to follow the sequence of these stitches, and we are going to start with a cross stitch, which is this one here, and then like that. Okay, are you saying that? And then go in the next stitch, then like that. In that, when you work, the stitches are going to align on top of each other. Okay, I will reduce this up to the end. This is row 29. I'll start row 30 and meet you when I'm left with 2 stitches. I'm left with 2 stitches and we are going to reduce again in this row. Insert your hook in this stitch, insert your hook in the next stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook and then pull through all. We now have 38 number of stitches here, and in the next row we won't reduce. Turn your work row. So in this first stitch I'm going to make a double crochet, and then in the next stitch, which is this 2, I will make a cross double crochet, just like what we did in the previous panel, except for this side we are reducing in our this is like the right side, but previously we were reducing from the left side. And now repeat this until you obtain those desired number of stitches, like for your other side of the front panel. I reduced until I had 32 number of stitches and then proceeded to complete my row. I ensure that I had the exact number of rows here, just like the back panel, and that is exactly what I'm going to be doing for this other side of our panel. And you can see when you place it like this is the good side facing me up. When you place it like this, you can see that it is just aligning perfectly well. Okay, I have completed to crochet the left side of my front panel. Now this is where I'll end my row. I'm going to chain 1. You should do the same. Pull out your yarn, get your scissor and cut it out. Cut it a little bit long because you will use it to join the sides of this panel to the back panel, like that. Now we place this aside and work on our sleeves. For the sleeves, you are going to place a tape measure in your underarm and then measure up to your calf or that desired length which you want. I have measured mine is somewhere here, and that's around 17 inches. So I'm going to make a chain that is 17 inches long and then meet you right back here for us to start working on the sleeves. So if you have measured yours here, or up to there, just make a chain which is up to that length. You'll be able to know how many inches those are. Mine are 17. I'm going to chain around there and then meet you when I'm done so that we can start working on row 1. I have made 72 number of chains here. This is without me stretching. So when I place it on my tape measure, it's 17. But when I stretch it further, it can even go like up to 20. So if your yarn stretches, you can crochet less and then stretch it out. But I didn't do that. I just crocheted the 17 inches required of me, in that when I stretch, it can stretch up to the other side. So for row 1, you are going to chain 2 and then make a double crochet in this chain which you blocked, which is now the 3rd chain. Insert your hook in there and make a double crochet. We shall make double crochet up to the end of this chain. At the end of this chain, ensure that you have that exact number of stitches. I started with 72 number of chains, so I should be able to have 72 number of stitches here. I crocheted up to the end of my chain, and when I measured it, it was more than 17. I don't want that. That's why I always chain extra stitches. So I decided to remove out 1, 2, 3, like, which means I have 69 here. When I place it on my tape measure, it gives me the 17 inches which I want. I could have just crocheted up to the end. I can still do that, but I don't want. So now for row 2, you chain 1 and turn your work. The chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. You are going to place a double crochet in the back loop of the 1st stitch here. Pull out your yarn and make a double crochet by pulling through 2 and then pull through 2 again. Make another double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, like that. Okay, we shall be repeating row 2 over and over again, like that, only in the back loop. When you end row 2, you chain 1, turn your work, and then proceed to make double crochets only in the back loops. We will be making a puffy sleeve. Unless you don't want a puffy sleeve, you can crochet that desired inches which you want, but for myself, I'm going to make a puffy stitch, and I will determine it as I crochet. I will come back here and show you people how to work on the cuff. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly please click on the subscribe button, subscribe, turn on all the notifications so that you will be able to get notifications of every tutorial that I upload on this channel, which is usually on Wednesday. You can also tell me what you are crocheting, or if you are going to be crocheting this sweater and in what color. Okay, catch you when I'm at the end of my rows and then show you people how to work on the cuff. I have finished to crochet all my sleeves. I have 40 number of rows here, and let's get a measurement of it, because when I folded it like this, I saw that this is just enough for me. It's neither too big nor too small. Though I said I wanted a puffy sleeve, it's still okay for me. Unless you want it puffier, you can keep extending the rows. So when we take a measurement of this, it's 18 inches. So my sleeve is 17 inches long and 18 inches wide. Just need to measure it to be sure that I have my 17 inches. 17 inches, which is not bad. Now the next part, we shall be working on our cuff. When you have completed, don't cut out your yarn. You're going to determine which side you want outside. So this is going to be my outside part. They all look the same, so I'm just going to fold this over like that, and then join it by placing my hook inside this first stitch like that, and then I join it with a slip stitch like that, then chain one, turn my work. We are going to reduce the circumference of this cuff so that we are able to start working on our cuff. I'm going to be reducing, I'll reduce 2 stitches and then alternate with 1. So this is how you reduce. You are going to go in the middle of this and then come in the middle of this one like that. You'll have 3 loops on your hook and then you pull through all. Then come again in the middle here and then this like that. Do again like that. So I think this is enough. So in the next 2 stitches I'll just put a normal single crochet without having to reduce. This is 1 and then 2, and then I make another 3 sets of reduction. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. I'll repeat this sequence all round and then meet you when we'll be ending our row from here. I'm at the end of my circle. You are going to place a slip stitch on top of the first stitch. Mine is this one. I'm just going to go in this space to slip stitch like that. So if your cuff that you have reduced is still big, you can go ahead and repeat the sequence. But since this is enough for me, I don't need to go ahead and make a row of single crochet. I'm just going to start working on the cuff. Okay, so to start working on the cuff, chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The 13th chain is going to be a returning chain, so make single crochet up to the end of this chain. At the end of this chain you should have 12 single crochets. I'll meet you when I'm done making my 12 single crochet. At the end of it all, you are going to slip stitch in this stitch here, okay, in this space which you see like that, and just slip stitch. Okay, I could slip stitch in the second, but I'm not going to do that because the circumference of this is just enough for my cuff. Unless it was a little bit bigger, I would again slip stitch in the next stitch, but I will not be doing that. Unless yours is like mine, you can do exactly what I'm doing here. If yours is bigger, you can slip stitch in the next stitch, okay, or alternate between slip stitching twice and slip stitching once. After that, chain 1, turn your work, You are going to skip that first stitch and then make a slip stitch in the second stitch. Slip stitch up to the end of this row. At the end of this row, you have 12 slip stitches, chain 1, turn your work, and then make another 12 slip stitches. That is now row 3. I'll meet you when we are at the end of row 3. Ensure that you are only slip stitching in the back loops only. Okay, I can just show you like that, and then chain 1, turn your work, and then proceed to slip stitch in the back loops only. I have already made 12 slip stitches here. Now we are again going in the next stitch, which is not this one, and this, place a slip stitch there, chain 1, turn your work, skip that slip stitch and then go in the second stitch, make a slip stitch in it like that. I will now leave you to repeat this all around, which I am going to do for myself off camera, and then we meet right back here when we'll be joining the sides of this together, catch you until then. I have completed to work on the cuff all around. Now we are going to join. I will use a slip stitch to join this cuff here, and then a needle to join the side of my sleeve. You can still continue joining the sides of your sleeve using a hook. You slip stitch up to this end, but I'm just going to be using a hook to join up to here, and then I'll switch to using a needle. So you chain 1, turn your work, find the top of this stitch and slip stitch in there, like that. Now you are going to go in the back loops of this stitch here. This last stitch of mine from the previous row is a bit tight, but just insert your hook in there, then go in the other side and slip stitch like that, like that. Okay, I'm going to slip stitch up to this point and then cut out my yarn, meet you people to show you how to join using a needle. But if you don't want to use a needle, just go ahead and slip stitch up to the end of this sleeve. We will meet right after. I finished to slip stitch up to this point. Now I'm going to pull my yarn a little bit long enough, which I will use for sewing in the sides together. I'll pull out the tail of this yarn, get my needle, like that, and then we'll join these sides together. This is how I'll do it. Like that. So I'm going to grab this side and then come in this side here like that. Okay, you go inside this space which you're seeing there, that loop, and then grab the front loop. This is like the back or front loop either, but this one, not this other one. Okay, grab that one and pass your hook through there. We'll join this up to the end of this sleeve. like that, okay? And then you pull it closer like that. You can use any way to join the sides of your sleeve. Anything works, even a hook. You either use a slip stitch or single crochet to join this side like that, like that, and then pull it hard like that, okay? Repeat this up to this point. I'll meet you when I'm at this point here. I finished to join the side of my sleeve, and this is how it looks like after using a needle. Make another sleeve identical to this one. I already went ahead and made the second side of my sleeves. Now when you are done making your sleeves, we shall now start joining these parts together. You are going to get your back panel and the front panel like that, and determine the good side. The good side is this one where we started our row 1 from, okay? Then the rows which had single crochets are the bad side, which is this one. Even when you place and see it, it is visible. You are able to determine the good and the bad side without any hardship. After you have determined that, for the back panel, you are going to lay your back panel down and let the bad side face you upwards, which is this one for me. And then get the two sides of your front panel, let the good sides face you upward. Align it onto the back panel. Right now my entire thing cannot fit the screen, but I'm just going to show you the most important parts, because we are now going to start joining the sides of this sweater. Now when you have aligned it like this, use a stitch marker to help you stitch these sides together like that, okay? Because we will start joining from this side to this point, and then again from this point to the other side. And I will still use a needle, so when you are done joining together, you will place it down like this, okay? Get your needle. You can even now remove the stitch marker. Get your needle and insert your yarn inside the needle. After inserting your yarn inside the needle, you are going to join these two sides to each other. So insert your needle in here. If you're using a hook, use a slip stitch to do that, okay? After inserting and securing your needle, you are going to go in the back loop of this stitch, okay, from this other side of the panel, and then come again in the back loop of this other stitch like that. Back loop of the next stitch, back loop of the other stitch, and repeat this. Only the back loops. Like that. And when you are done, you are going to pull the tail of this yarn like that, and you would have joined this side together. I am going to request you all to repeat this up to this point of the stitch marker. When you are done, you are also again going to turn to this other side of your panels and join this side together. I will meet you again when we will also start joining our sleeves onto this cardigan. I am through with joining the front panel to the back panel, and this is how it looks like after using a needle, and this is from the inside. After joining these front panels to the back panel, we will now attach our sleeves to this cardigan. You are going to determine the center of your sleeves and then use a stitch marker to attach it onto your sweater like that, and just attach it here. This will help you determine the alignment of this. So after that, you again get this other side, use a stitch marker to stitch one side of it onto this side here. I'm going to use bright colors since I'm working with red. Like that, and you'll repeat this for this other side, which I will do at a later time. But for now, we can work with one side of our sweater, attach this sleeve. After you come, join this end up to this point here. So you can start joining from here, go all around, and then find your way back here to stitch up to this point. I've already removed my stitch marker. To begin, you are going to get this side of the sweater, okay, and then go to the point where it's touching it and stitch those two sides like that, okay. And now we will first join this side, go around, and then end to this point, come in this side here. There's so many ways of joining. Use the one which suits you best and join. I'll join this all around, okay. And then we meet when we are done joining the sides of this sleeve. When you join this side, you pull it like that, okay. So when you join this side, you come to this other point and join up to the end of your sweater here. Get the other side of your sleeves and repeat what we have done here for this other side. And when we are done joining all these sides, we come back here and start working on our ribbing, okay. I have completed to join everything which is required of this cardigan. The sleeves are already attached to both sides, and also the front panel to the back, and this is how the sweater looks like. Let me show you just in bits. This is the sleeve. I was also able to cut out my loose ends. Makes my work a little bit easier, so you can have a look at how this sweater is taking shape. And this is the lower part. I know it doesn't fit all, but you can see how it looks like. So we are going to start working on a ribbing for this lower part. I will be using this same ribbing which I applied here in the cuff. And for us to start, we are going to first start with a single crochet all around. So we will have to turn your work in the opposite direction, okay. This is the good side. Turn the side which is not okay facing you, and we shall use it to put in single crochets. Get your yarn, come in this first stitch here, which is that one, attach your yarn there like that, and then make a single crochet in that exact same space like that. We are going to put single crochet in every stitch which you see here. So the next loop is this one, just one single crochet. The next one is this one, and then the next is this one, like that. So you place this single crochets up to this point. I'm going to meet you when we reach this point here. This is my last single crochet, so I'll pull out my yarn like that, cut it out. Like that. Now this is what the downer part looks like. When you turn it the other way around, this is how it's looking like. Okay, now let's work on the ribbing. We shall make the ribbing separately and then attach it to this downer side. There are so many ways on how to work a ribbing. There are so many ways of creating a ribbing. You can either just do it directly like how we did for the cuff, or make it separately and join. So for that, let's chain 15, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the 15th chain is a returning chain. You are going to put single crochets in all these chains. At the end of this, you should have 14 number of single crochet. I have 14 single crochets here. Let's make the slip stitch now. Chain 1, turn your work. The chain 1 is not a stitch. You are going to slip stitch in this first stitch here, only in the back loop, like that, and make slip stitch. Go in the second one, only back loops, and create another slip stitch. Slip stitch up to the end of this row. At the end of this row, you should ensure that you have 14 slip stitches. I'm in the last stitch, so place your last slip stitch there. Slip stitch, chain 1, start row 3. For row 3 going onwards, you are going to be repeating row 2 by slip stitching in the back loops only. Slip stitch until you can wrap your band. Okay, it can wrap from this point to here, to this point, and then this, but don't cut out your yarn, because as we join, you will be able to notice that it might not be enough, so you rather just crochet a very long ribbing, or when you are done, don't cut out your yarn. I will do the same and meet you people when I am done creating mine. I have crocheted what is enough for now. I'm going to start joining and not cut out the tail of my yarn, so that if it's not enough, I just keep working on the band until the desired length. So you get a needle, or you can use a slip stitch, but I'll be using a needle. Now you turn your work the opposite direction. We started by making a single crochet in the bad side. Now turn the wrong side, okay, of the single crochets, all right, which means at this point the good side is facing you upward. And then let's start joining. I'm going to start joining from here. I get my band and then attach my yarn in here. Like that, and then attach it on this other side to secure the yarn, like that. Now we shall join this side. You're going to go in each of these stitches, the back loops only, like that, and then join. Okay, it's pretty much the same. You're just attaching this onto this other side, like that. Like that, and then pull out your yarn. We are almost done with this cardigan, so just repeat this up to this point here. I'm going to do the same and then meet you when I'm done joining this ribbing onto the sweater. I have finished joining the ribbing onto the sweater, so this is how the whole thing looks like. We started from here all through up to this point, and I have not cut out my yarn, so when you align it together, this is how it looks like. Let me first organize it very well. So this is how it looks like from below. So we are going to place single crochets all around to block off the sides of this. We are not going to be attaching buttons onto this sweater. I just want it to be like this, but we will be able to tie it here in the front just for those occasions when you want it tied together. Otherwise you can wear this just as a free sweater. So for us to put a single crochet, you again insert your hook back in here, chain one, turn your work. Now we'll place single crochets in each of these stitches. Make 14 single crochets. This is 2 up to this point here. I have made my 14 single crochet, so you are going to insert 1 single crochet in this space here. Okay, and then another one in this space, like that. So in each of these spaces which you see here, just put 1 single crochet, like that. We shall make this all round. When you reach the corner here, put 2 single crochets, and then when you again reach to this corner, put 2 single crochets, and then proceed to single crochet up to this point. That's where we will meet again. I have made my single crochets all round and decided to end my single crochets here because I can see that it is aligning with this other side of my ribbing. So I'm not going to continue with the single crochets down here, but if yours is not aligning, just continue with your single crochets up to the end. This is a very practical tutorial. You can even be able to tell that things are aligning or not aligning. So with that, I'll pull out the tail of my yarn like that, and then I'm going to use a needle to hide out the tail of this yarn. So this is the final look of your sweater. You just need to align it very well, and also from down here I will use a needle to complete hiding out the tail of this yarn. I don't intend to have buttons, but I'm going to create a chain to tie here on those occasions when I want the chest of this sweater to be tied. Let me just illustrate for you. So there are going to be occasions where I will use a chain that I've made to tie the front like this and make it look like a tie front sweater. Okay, so just, you know, make a bow in the front here. All right, I could attach a button here just to button it up here, but I think the button will ruin the design of this sweater for me. So I'll just make a chain, a very long chain, slip stitch it, and then tie a bow in front here, as you have seen in the photos which are at the beginning of this tutorial. Otherwise, with this, we have come to the end of this tutorial. Do leave me comments. I hope to know what you people are up to. So if you recreate any of my tutorials, you can follow me on social media and then tag me in your videos or photos. My social media handles are in the description box below. You can also leave me your suggestions in the comment section. Otherwise, I look forward to creating more simple tutorials like this with you people, which is usually every Wednesday. Bye. See you again next week.